Probably already mine. All right, and we are live streaming. All right, all right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Experience the People's Podcast. I'm your host, JL, the Anti-Guru, and this is where we talk about the latest trends, topics, and interesting people. And tonight I've got a special guest, but let's bring the music down and jump right into it. All right. Yeah, we got that thing. Works for me. So tonight, guy, I got a guest. My guest tonight is Brian Gregory. This is going to be a really good podcast tonight, guys. Brian is the CEO and founder of admanity.com. And if you ever wish that a professional agency would coach you about your brand, but found out you couldn't afford it, you're going to enjoy our show today. So again, Brian is also a podcaster, an author, and a public speaker, a man of many talents. Brian, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come in and talk with us today.
Well, I should be thanking you, JL, for having me on the show. So I'm excited to be here. Let's rock this thing and let's get some information out there for folks.
Yeah. I'm sure everybody's going to want to know, what is the Admanity protocol and why did you create it?
That's a great question. When I was in the magazine business, we sold a lot of ads. That's how you live if you're a magazine. And you want people to have success and to keep buying more ads and, just to hang out with you forever, really. But we noticed, and I noticed that, it's a revolving door of clients because the ads they want you to run for them don't work. And then they blame the magazine, and the media always gets the blame when the ad doesn't work. And I thought, this is just silly. No one's showing small businesses what to do. They don't really know. They're doing the best they can.
Right.
But they would drop out and, cause problems. And, we didn't want people to go away unhappy. But with the ads they were running, it just wouldn't work. So I decided when I sold the magazine, I said, you know what? I'm going to create an algorithm that will show any business on earth exactly how to promote itself, market itself, and advertise, and why people will say yes to that brand, which is a huge statement considering I'd never created an algorithm in my life. And so, it ended up being a 7-year journey to figure out if this project could actually be done to almost create a mathematical solution to what human emotions the business is going to need to be successful, because it always comes down to human emotions. And if you ask the average small business, show me your emotions, which ones do you use? Just, pick a few. And they'll be like, I don't know.
Right.
And that's not good when that's everything. That's the whole reason why ads, messaging, emails, or anything else works. And when we got done with the algorithms, we called it the yes test, because it shows you why people say yes to you.
Yeah, I love it. And guys, I took the yes test myself. It definitely gave me an insight. I can tell you, I printed mine out and found out what my brand was, and it has been a big help. Just this test right here. But so one of the things is, you're talking about most businesses, small businesses, they advertise incorrectly. So how can a small business advertise just like a big brand, and why should they?
This is a great question, and it's one of our biggest teaching points. You see these big brands out there, you watch Skittles and it'll say, taste the rainbow, and they make $1 billion. And then if you make candy, you probably don't use anything similar to that. You think, well, that's for the big guys. They have the big agencies. They get the winning ad campaigns and the great slogans. I'm a small little business and I can't do it that way. And that is 1000% wrong. You can do exactly what the big businesses do, because they're advertising emotionally. And they've learned that facts don't sell. Now, small businesses still think facts sell, because they think, well, I'm small, so I better tell them more. I better educate my client so they can make an informed decision, which is an oxymoron. It's impossible to do. But they want to, in their quest to do it correctly, and honestly is what gives them their worst disadvantage, because they don't understand that people buy on emotions, and which emotions. The big brands know theirs, you don't know yours, and so you do it factually, and that's going to lose. It's always lost. It will always lose. No one's bought on logic yet.
Right.
It's a brain impossibility. The decision to buy is emotional. It's not logical. And if you ever bought a red Ferrari, you know exactly what I'm talking about,
No doubt.
right?
I never bought one, but I sure have looked at them. And when you touch on emotions, I made my start in network marketing, and they used to talk about uh, there were several triggers. People move away. Wait a minute. They'll move away from pain quicker than they'll move towards pleasure. And one of the other things is that we were told that you need to, and I may be saying it wrong, but uh, you always want to talk about the benefits, because what's in it for them? They don't care if you got the greatest thing since sliced cheese. They want to know, how's this going to benefit me? Like let's say, and we used to say in network marketing, the product needs to save them time, save them money, make them money, or give them prestige. And there was a few others I can't remember, but this yes test is totally has just blown all of that out of the water, from what I understand. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, when we were doing our research, we found that there's 15, you call them triggers, that's a good word, 15 emotions that have sold everything on planet Earth. Always have, always will. Your kids will need to know these same 15 emotions, right? Because humans never change. Tech changes. Humans haven't changed ever. You have the same emotions that Caesar and Socrates and Mozart had, right? So that doesn't change. So doesn't it make sense to learn these 15 emotions that persuade people to buy? And that's kind of what we did, is we figured out that if you look at all the ads over history, you see the same emotional triggers being used by different products. And sometimes one product will win a great ad campaign, and then the next product that's competing with them will do the exact same trigger. And guess what? It works for them too. If you know these, it's the same reason that James Bond movies are all the same. Why would they fix something that's working that well?
Exactly.
It's all comes down to human emotion. And, we're more emotional than anything else. I mean, even the rocket scientist who spends all day with his calculations and facts and math and science has just as much emotion as anyone else in them. And when they make a decision, it will be emotional. And so you have to learn how to navigate through the world using emotions. You use them when you meet somebody, that's emotional. When you say goodbye to somebody, it's emotional. When you buy something, it's emotional. When you say, I don't want to buy that, it's emotional.
Right.
We are emotional beings with occasional moments of rationality. We are not rational beings with occasional moments of emotionality.
Exactly.
And that's the truth. And it's always going to be that way. So doesn't it make sense to just take a step back and say, wait a minute, if all these triggers are what makes everything move and, sell, and school didn't teach me those. And it's simple stuff too, isn't it? Happiness, greed, envy, excitement, authority, which is trust. And, these are all simple emotions that you've been using your whole life and had them used on you. You just never figured out the formula for an ad or an email or a social media post with them. And that's what we did. And we figured out, the algorithms figured out which emotions go together, kind of like peas and carrots, like Forrest Gump would say.
Right.
And once you know which ones go together, you can sell anything on the planet. It doesn't matter what it is, because people will buy on emotion, never on logic. And the benefits and features that you mentioned, those are more logical than anything else. Logic will be argued. If I say our car gets 22 miles per hour more than the average car, the logical brain says, prove it. I don't believe it.
Right.
I don't
Right.
think that, how could that be? Right. And But if I said to you, our new car, it's so long in between going to the gas station, you may feel like you never need gas again.
Right.
Well, that's a lot happier.
Yeah.
That makes me go, ooh, cool. And I don't argue that. That sounds like something I want. So that's the way we do it.
So if there were other ad agencies out there doing what you do, what do you think they would charge for something similar to what you're offering?
A typical ad agency, if they were, well, first of all, it took us 7 years to build this test, so I doubt they'd be anxious to try that one. Good luck. But if they were to charge you for the analysis and the advice that comes afterwards, you're looking at $15,000 to say hello to anything like this.
How many crickets?
And they probably don't really want to do it, because I've talked to many ad agencies who use our product, and they're like, we don't really want to do this. This is a lot of time, a lot of man hours, not a lot of profit in that. So at the
Right.
end of the day, we spent 6-8 weeks doing this. We've involved 6 to 10 people in our company, and we hand you this beautiful thing that you may or may not even read. And we've wasted a lot of time. We'd much rather get to the winning solutions for your company, and put more time into that, the actual creative that's going to go into the marketplace. And that's what our product allows you to do, is like kind of skip all the long drawn out, the drudgery of branding and marketing, and just say, oh, that's what works. Okay, let's just do that. Just, it's ABC done. And that's what people really want.
Right. And so, this type of test that you've got, you kind of made it, streamlined it, and made it so it's affordable, like you say, for even a small business owner. It's something that so they can compete with all the big giants. And I think
Yeah,
that is wonderful. But I know that there's a lot more to it. The Yes Test is just the beginning, and
correct.
and then you have some other programs is where once they've said, okay, we like this, where do we go from here?
Yeah, we make the test free because we think it's the right thing to do. Because if you just take the free test and run away, that's okay. At least you've got 6-8 pages of advice that's going to make a lot of sense to you. And even a small company with one person running it, or a big multi-million-dollar company, will benefit from the test, because it shows you emotionally what you should be doing. But for those who really want to conquer, and I just want to get to the answers of this game show that I feel like I'm on every day, called entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have somebody give me the answers. Well, then we have those, and we sell those. And there's nothing we sell that's more than $1,000. Any business can afford it. You'll waste more than that on ads that won't work, and you will, and you already have.
Yeah,
So
no doubt.
isn't it about time you start doing the right formulas, the right emotions, the right words? We give you the words, the phrases, the colors, the metaphors, the upsells, how to win back lost customers, 16 different strategies for ads and persuasion. We give you the emotions that you're going to need. We even give you access to 230 million photos, and show you which photos you should kind of be grabbing out of the database, because photos matter too. So it's an amazing program designed to make marketing this horrible drudgery that most people think it is, especially today with all the tech. Try to look around the tech. Tech is exciting. Tech is that shiny object that everybody wants to show you right now.
Yeah,
But if
exactly.
you don't know the caveman level emotions that make a human move to the left, move to the right, grab their credit card, then you have no business being playing games with tech and trying to throw money at Facebook or anybody else, because you won't be as effective. And that doesn't serve Facebook. That doesn't serve you. That doesn't serve your customers, right? The more you help, the more you make, the more you make, the more you can help. And that's where we want to get businesses to go.
So I'm like, what would happen if every business in America had, took this Yes Test and had an ad amenity report? I mean, what would that look like?
Well, you wouldn't have this 80% of small businesses fail.
Mm,
How many times have you heard that, right?
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you'd have to be crazy to start a business if that's the number one thing everybody throws at you as soon as you mention, hey, I was thinking about starting a blank. Oh, 80% of businesses fail.
Hmm.
Well, if everybody had this kind of information, I don't believe 80% would fail, because they're not failing because they're lazy, they're stupid, their employees don't work, they don't have a decent product, their location's bad, taxes are too high. Those aren't the reasons businesses fail. They fail because they never crafted a message that was heard above the noise. It was never remembered. It was never heard. It was never seen. And when it was never remembered. And when the time came, it crushed them. So you've got to know what the big guys already know. That's why they have billion-dollar brands. McDonald's isn't the greatest hamburger, but it's a billion-dollar brand,
Yeah.
right? And you can go down the list: pizza, booze,
Yeah.
cars, almost
Ours, yeah.
anything. Yeah, and
Yeah.
if you had to be number one to win, you simply wouldn't win. You'd be dropped out of the race pretty fast. But the proof is, you don't have to have the best product to win. You have to have the best emotional marketing, and
Yeah.
that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, I agree at 100%, because you talk about these big brands, back when COVID hit, I don't know where you out there in California, but over here on the East Coast in my hometown, we saw so many businesses. There were a couple of restaurants that had been around for 40, 50 years, and they didn't adapt and they didn't change their messaging in order to keep people coming. Of course, there was restrictions, like you couldn't come into the restaurant and all these different
Sure.
things. When all that stuff lifted up, because it was one just, I think, 3 or 4 months ago. It was Ice Cream Shop. Been around since I was a kid. Well, they're gone. Yeah, and that's
If
ridiculous.
if if you don't have the right message in the marketplace, your competitor might. And if you're not advertising properly, and a lot of businesses just stopped advertising, stopped everything, right? Which
Yeah.
is, that's like trying to save time by stopping your watch. It doesn't make any sense, right? And if you do that, then I guarantee you one result: anybody around you that does advertise will beat you. Not because their ads are so great or their product is so great. It's because this is what people will remember. They only remember what they heard last. And if they hear your commercial 15 times on the TV every night, guess what? They're going to remember you. If they haven't heard about you in 2 years, you'll be lucky if they could find you on a map, right?
Exactly.
It's just the way humans are. We're born to forget. So you must promote. You must fire the cannon. The silent cannon wins no war. In advertising, make no mistake, if you're not winning, you're losing. And I don't want to be losing. Nobody wants to lose. Well, then you got to get in the game and you got to do it right. And it's
Yeah,
real easy to do, but you just got to do it right.
that's true. That's like you say, if you're not winning, you're losing. That reminded me of Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you last.
Yeah, second place is no place to be.
No place to be. But Brian, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing this with us. Now, guys, if you are interested in taking Brian's free test, the free yes test, I put it in the description. I'm also going to put it in the comments, but it is www.freeyestest.com. It's 100% free. I highly recommend that you take it, and it will be an eye opener. Like I said, I already took mine. I printed mine out so I could read through it. I've read it 4 or 5 times, and it has definitely helped me already. But again, go to that website. It's www.freeyestest.com. So, Brian, if anybody wants to get in touch with you personally, how could they do that?
They can just find me on LinkedIn. I'm also on Alignable a lot. Brian Gregory, Add Manatee, or the Yes Test. You'll find us out there. We're all over Google, and if you search for a company that done a lot of podcasts and things, so we're pretty easy to find. If you go to admanity.com, you can find the Yes Test. If you go to freeyestest.com, you'll find it there. And from there, life gets a lot easier for you. And we want to work with businesses. We want to work with agencies. We want to work with media people, anybody who's in the business of making communication and persuasion happen, or needs that to make their business happen, should take the Yes Test and should learn quickly what their emotions need to be, because it's not going to change because you didn't take the test. The only thing that'll happen is you won't know it. So please do it and help everybody. And I appreciate you having me on the show today, so I could plug that a little bit.
Not a problem, brother. We'd certainly appreciate you taking time out of your day. Well, guys, this is pretty much all that we have for you. Remember, take that test. It's www.freeyestest.com. You won't regret it. I guarantee it's going to make a difference in your business. So remember, I'm on every Monday at 7 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. And remember my 3 R's: respect yourself, respect others, and always, always take full responsibility for your actions. We'll see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Brian, appreciate you. Later,
My pleasure.
guys.